All
All
right.
right.
Hello. Yeah. Hello and welcome,
Go ahead, Haley. We're
everybody.
back.
Oh, go ahead, Frank.
Oh, I just said we're back, and I saw the recording start. So anyway, so everyone, welcome. Look who's back interviewing again. Guess who? Frank and Haley. So doing what we like to do. So yes, it's the co-host of the podcast. And if you're not familiar with the podcast, for those that have just joined us or didn't hear any of the banter prior, it is a podcast that we do where we do collective advice for CRM and higher ed. So we talk to various higher ed institutions and we just chat with them. We post those podcasts and full of knowledge share, full of banter, a lot of fun. So we're resurrecting that this year in 2022 via the Higher Ed Dreamin event. So this is consider this the first podcast of season 3, 2022. So good. Great. And I think today what we're going to do is we're going to actually continue practicing our interview skills with our generous sponsors. So I will let Haley go from here.
Yeah. Frank, remind me, like, where did this come from? This was an advisory council thing, five and fives?
The 5 and 5, yeah, I think it was an advisory council thing that we adopted maybe 2 years ago, and it's been really cool because what we do is with our members, existing members and new members, we do a 5 and 5, just like you're going to see in a few minutes, and so it gives us an opportunity to learn about their institutions, to learn about them, and they get a baseball card, like you'll see when we go down the slides here in a bit for our sponsors, and so it's a lot of fun. So it's just a way of keeping engaged and understanding who's doing what, uh, from across the higher ed advisory board. So it's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me get a little bit into our format today. You saw this earlier in the keynote. I was able to interview Huron, and I see Vince is in the chat. But I was able to do a quick interview, and now I think we're ready to do a couple more. You'll notice we have 5 speakers with us today, which is perfect. It's like the 5 and 5 and 5. So we've got 5 sponsors here with us. They're going to answer these 5 questions. So they'll say 1 about their company, 2 about expertise in higher ed, 3 about a recent implementation, 4 what excites them about 2022, and number 5 something that's kept them sane during the pandemic. Now, Joanna really wants me to call time on folks, but I like you to finish your time. Like the 5th question is really important, right? How did we all get through the last couple of years? So as long as you're kind of finishing up that thought as we end, I'll let you finish. Today, your screen is going to look a lot like this. We'll be sharing the actual baseball card slide, which is what Frank was alluding to. It has a little bit more information about our sponsors. We'll have the timer and then those questions, just in case you're wondering what's coming up next. Our order today, we're going to start with Apex IT. We'll then go through with Blackthorn, Attain Partners, Form Assembly, and Cloud for Good. All right. I almost queued it a little bit too early, but Ryan, are you ready to join us on screen?
I am.
Hey, there you are. Do you want to just give us a really quick intro before we start the timer of what you do at Apex?
Yeah, you bet. So my name is Ryan Hintz. I'm outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yesterday it was negative 19 with a negative 40-degree wind chill. Today it's about 30, so we had a 50-degree swing. So we might see a little melting here, but yeah, for Apex IT, I've been here for about 10 years. And I started our Salesforce practice around our higher education space, our commercial sector, public sector, and now I oversee all of our educational properties.
Nice. Awesome. Well, are you ready to get us started with a 5 and 5?
I am.
All right, it's you and me up first. So I'm going to go ahead and start the clock, and then I'll give you your first question.
Sounds good.
All right, so tell us about your company.
Yeah, so Apex IT, we're a premium partner with Salesforce.org, and we've been working in higher education for about 18 years. We're also a product industry advisor, so we were one of the original consulting companies for EDUP, for Student Success Hub or Advisor Link back in the day, and also do a lot of advisement on Admissions Connect. So we'd work with a lot of our clients across the spectrum of various things. And we'll go into that here next.
Yeah, great segue to question 2. Tell us about your expertise in higher ed.
Yeah, so we really focus on configuring Salesforce and various tools for things like recruiting, i.e. Admissions Connect, one-stop advising and retention, i.e. Student Success Hub, and into other areas like IT help desk, employee help desk, and those type of things. So we do a lot of strategic services around business process modeling, organizational change management, roadmap development, as well as the implementation. And then we have various options to support people post-go live.
Tell us about a recent implementation, something in the last 6 months to a year.
Yeah, you bet. So on the screen, you see the One Auburn symbol there. And we've been working with Auburn University for about 4 years now. And so they started off on a path to implement a data warehouse and enable the various departments and colleges with data. That was their focus. That was their goal. Their overall reason for going in that path was the state was no longer going to provide additional funding. So they needed to get their employees to work more efficiently. So what we did is we went in, did a master data management roadmap, understanding, helping to implement Snowflake as their data. In parallel, we extended Salesforce into the 13 colleges and looked at their use case of how they would use that data. And so once we started at the College of Business, we went into College of Nursing, extended out into the other colleges, and then even into undergrad. And so they've been working with the Salesforce system for quite some time, obviously the warehouse. And ironically, as of today, we're going to start extending Salesforce into their graduate admissions and their undergrad. So we're building out the plans to do some further expansion, further use of that data within the various colleges, within undergrad. And it's going to start with recruiting and admissions and going back to dynamic applications and using Experience Cloud for that. So it's been exciting, and they've been a great roadshow reference for Salesforce.org. They've done a number of webinars. We now have another college in California that's going to implement Snowflake, follow that path, has interviewed Auburn, and hopefully we'll continue to grow that.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. Tell me about something that excites you coming up in 2022.
Yeah, you bet. So a couple of different things is, first and foremost, we have launched Apex Theorem, and that is our digital transformation ad agency. So we're helping various schools to understand their marketing strategy and to how to manage campaigns. We can even supply the people to help them manage the campaign, look at various tools that are out there, understanding how the tools work, dive deep into attribution models, Social Studio, Advertising Studio, those type of things. We're also about to go live with 2 Admissions Connect builds. So we're close on that. So we're watching that roadmap very quickly. And I think we're about to go live with our 7th Student Success Hub at another school and have 3 more that have started. So we watch those roadmaps very, very carefully.
Awesome. Your last question. What's one thing or activity that's kept you or your team sane during the pandemic?
Yeah, well, as you just saw, we have a brand new Basset Hound puppy that is now 5 months old. So my son is 15, is a sophomore in high school. So I feel like I'm back in the toddler stage.
Does feel pretty similar, huh? Yeah.
I have given up my normal day job, and now I am a bouncer. I just let animals out the door and in the door.
Well, I'm sure he's having a good time. And thank you so much. Look at that. You did really good on your 5 and 5. It was a great one to kick off with.
Excellent. Thank you. Good luck to everybody else too.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I'm going to hand it over to Frank, who's going to go on with our next sponsor, and I'll get your slides all set up.
No problem. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks, Annabelle, for joining us. Anyway, all right. Let me know when you're ready. I think what we're gonna start off with Blackthorn IO. We've got Matt Frank from Blackthorn IO that's going to join us to do his 5 and 5 or Blackthorn IO's 5 and 5. So, are we ready to get started? Looks like the timer's set. We're ready to go.
Matt, do you want to just introduce what you do at Blackthorn real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, everybody. I'm Matt Frank. I am the Director of Product Marketing and Tech Evangelism here at Blackthorn. So, go-to-market strategy, competitive analysis, and making sure that we have a level of excellence in the events and payments world, especially surrounding higher education and the Salesforce ecosystem, and then building upon that day after day, release after release with everything that we do. So, a little bit esoteric, but it's a lot of fun.
Love it. And I love tech evangelism. Very cool. Very cool. So, all right, let's get started here. So, let's go. Tell us about your company, Matt.
So Blackthorn is a App Exchange ISV partner, been around for, 5-6 years now. Started by Chris Federspiel, and we went from a company of about like 5-6 folks all the way to nearly 80 people now. And we specialize in events, payments, communications, and data compliance, all of which is on Salesforce. The way we look at it, especially in the university space, is that we try to get people to adopt what we call a return on event mindset, which is looking at it as more than just the monetary investment. How are you going to utilize that data? How is it going to enrich everything that you do as a school or a university or even an asynchronous educational institution? And how do you then action that data using the rest of Salesforce, using Blackthorn as an entry point? So really, it's all about engagement at the end of the day for us.
Amazing. Tell us about your expertise areas in higher ed.
Yeah. So as I said a second ago, everything we do is surrounding engagement. So that fits into recruitment, it fits into student success, it fits into alumni, it fits into advancement and fundraising, because our core app for the higher ed space is events, and events run the entire gamut. I don't know if you saw a few moments ago when our friends over at the Leeds School of Business at CU Boulder gave a presentation about events, and specifically Blackthorn, but it permeates every element of the higher education world. And being able to excellently and expertly, and easily take that data in, transform it, and utilize it, that's where we are in the higher education space, where we're basically actioning engagement for the Salesforce world.
Wow, engagement. Well, let's see. Let us know a little bit about one of your higher ed implementations in the last 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year. Okay, so we could talk about the awesomeness at Smith College, but Haley's on the call. I can't talk about Arizona State yet, Frank, but I guess I could talk about University of Arizona if that pressures you at all. But one of the ones I want to talk about is actually Columbia University. Their Office of Alumni and Advancement. They came to us with some fairly basic event requirements, but their timeline was insane. They're like, we need to be up and running in a week so that we can get our events ready for registration. And you know what? We said, you bring the people, we'll bring the product, and let's make it happen. 7 days later, they were out of enablement. They had a event live, ready for registration, and it was a success.
Great. Well, smooth Matt, what excites you about your roadmap or products or projects that are coming up?
Yes, roadmap, very important. So from the Salesforce roadmap, thing that I love the most is all the connections with Slack. It helps with engagement, it helps with communication, it helps with buy-in, especially when you're trying to get students involved in on-campus events, whether that they're leading tours for open days or whether they're doing, club-based events. Being able to utilize Slack to engage with those students on campus, super important. From a Blackthorn perspective, there's things I can say, things I can't say. We're, really doubling down on stability, making sure that the largest open days, the largest university events can still run smoothly through Blackthorn. We have some new event UIs coming out. We're tweaking our event wizard, but we have some really cool things coming out around continuing and professional education and virtual events if you sort of watch our space, you'll see more about that very, very soon.
Very cool. So, what has kept you or your team sane during this pandemic?
Sane is a relative term, right? Um, so as a team, we have our Blackthorn happy hours every week, which are wonderful. They're a great way to connect. We also get together in small groups where it's possible and safe throughout the year. And then for me personally, my wife taught me how to dance bachata, kizumba, and zouk in our house. She tried salsa as well, but I have 2 left feet, so that didn't work out so good. Our dog is confused every time I do it, but hey, I'm a good sport. And I really have learned to love it. Latin dancing is a lot of fun.
Amazing. Happy hours and Latin dancing. Not
Yeah,
a
man.
bad way to go
I
during
want to hang out with that. Yeah.
There was some tequila in there, and you have yourself a good time.
Yeah.
You did great. You had
You did.
15 seconds to spare. Amazing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We
Frank.
had a comment about your shirt. People were liking your shirt.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Blackthorn shirt here. I'll scroll down a little bit. Blackthorn shirts. If you do want some swag, we've got hoodies and stuff as well. Just message me. Come by the booth. I'll get you something.
All
Yeah,
right.
and it sounds like there'll also be a presentation at the Higher Ed User Group on February 18th. So thanks for putting that in the chat, Kathy.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Matt, and
Matt.
appreciate your support.
Always.
All right. Haley, I'll let you get things ready, and then you tell me when, and I'll just say you're on.
Okay.
I think
We've got Susan up next with Attain Partners. Susan, are you there? Hi.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
We can. You
Sounds
sounding great.
Good.
Are you ready for this?
I am. I got an internet unstable message. So,
You're still looking good to us, so don't worry
so
about
far,
that.
so good. Okay, I closed everything. I'm gonna close one more thing. There we go.
Sounds good. Well, how about let's start without the timer on. If you want to just tell us about your role at Attain Partners.
Sure. Well, my role, or tell you about Attain Partners.
Tell us about your role, and then we'll start the clock and we'll get to answer more questions. Yeah.
Sure. I am leading our strategic growth at Attain Partners. I'm a boomerang to Attain. I was here when we were ACF Solutions years ago, and now I'm back. I've been back about 18 months. So we have a growing business development team that's working with higher ed and nonprofit. Pretty fun.
Great. All right. I'm going to start the clock, and I'll ask you your first question.
Great.
All right. Tell us about your company.
Great question. First, I wanted to say thank you, though. Had a great morning so far, and I'm just so impressed that this event was put on by volunteers. Longtime PTA mom, and getting volunteers to do things is pretty remarkable. So well done, you all. It's been amazing. And I really loved Susan Morrow's conversation this morning about learning. And I think that's why all of us are in the Salesforce ecosystem, because no matter what, you're always learning something new, which is what keeps us coming back. Attain Partners serves both education and nonprofit. We're about 140 people now, and we deliver services from strategic consulting to change management to implementation. We feel like our goal is to be the catalyst for change in your organization so that you can achieve your mission. And we want our partners to attain more.
I like that. Question 2, tell us about some of your expertise in higher ed.
Well, a lot of the folks here at Attain, like me, came out of higher ed. I don't really have a nonprofit background, though I work with nonprofits. I have a higher ed background. So that's something that we do. We've had about 17 years of experience in higher ed, and which gives us the ability to really deeply understand the business and the technology and help focus our solutions on user-centric design. We have a motto or a thing that we've been saying a lot lately. It's sort of our current meme. Don't forget the people. It's really easy as a bunch of technologists to build solutions that are great technically, but don't serve the needs of people. So we spend a lot of time focusing on people. But most importantly, we like to meet our clients where they are So one of the things we're honing our skills and solutions to deliver is quick revenue and efficiency improvements, kind of like what Susan was talking about, continuing education and lifelong learning.
Great. Number 3, tell us about a recent implementation, something in the last 6 months to a year.
Well, in that same vein, I'm going to talk about University of Virginia Darden executive ed and lifelong learning. They needed to move off a point solution and onto Salesforce. And their goal was to really have a great experience for the lifelong learners to be able to come in. You know, everybody wants an Amazon shopping cart experience, but they have the money for a small bag. And so we call it limited budget caviar dreams. And so we really had to MacGyver a solution together to get them to be able to achieve their results. And so the great news is it's worked out well. They're live. They've got students enrolling, and they're able to get that incremental revenue that they were looking to get to grow the continuing of business there at Darden.
Awesome. What excites you about 2022?
Well, I think when we did our rehearsal, I think I said, because it's not 2021, but 2022 has started out pretty rough as well. But what really excites us here is that we like these kind of complex problems to solve. We're a bunch of puzzle nerds, so we are always looking for ways that we can really help our clients do new things. And this whole need to grow revenue and to build digital solutions, digital first, where people want that Amazon experience, are the problems that we're solving. So these are the kinds of things that get us out of bed every day. And we love these projects. So we want to make, big impact really fast.
Awesome. Last question, and you're doing great on time. What is the thing or activity that's kept you or your team sane during the pandemic?
Well, this is a hard question. So personally, I've developed a lovely taste for wine. But professionally, probably not what you wanted to hear. Professionally, we at Attain really focus a lot on work-life balance. And rather than having more Zooms, we found that having more Zooms where we get together and talk about fun things actually was exhausting for people. And so what we decided is to give our team space. And so we give them the option to tap out for an afternoon, tap out for a day, take some time, and on backups for people, so that if you're taking a day, someone knows how to get things done so that the work doesn't stop. We like to think of our people first and employees as, our staff as people's first and employees second. So that's what we've been doing. Fewer Zooms was kind of the mission.
Oh, I feel that one. I feel that one deeply. Yeah. But look at you. You did really great. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. I feel like also just thank you for what you said at the beginning. That was really sweet. So.
Well, thank you so much, Haley and Frank. It's been good to get to know you in the couple of days we've had together here. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have any
Susan.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. If you have any question for Attain Partners, go ahead and post them in the chat. Frank, I think you're up next. I'm going to go ahead and get your screen ready for you again.
All right. Hi, Paul. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Good to see both of you again. Good to see everybody again.
Good to see you, Paul, and good to have Form Assembly here with us today. So it looks like the screen's ready, but I know before we get started, we're going to let you talk about your role, and then I'll start with the questions in your 5 in 5.
Oh, thanks so much, Frank. Yeah, I got to warm me up before I get on the warm/hot seat, right?
There you go.
Paul Lazatin. It's nice to see some familiar faces and names, and it's exciting to meet everybody that I haven't met yet, and looking forward to meet everybody. What I do is I'm the Director of Partnerships here at Forum Assembly, and my mission is simple. I just do the best that I can to support all of our existing partners, the ecosystem, and the community.
Great. All right, we ready? Timer's on.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Paul's warmed up. All right. Tell us about your company, Paul.
Forum Assembly, we are a secure all-in-one data collection platform and workflow builder. And what we do is we help people safely, securely, and quickly collect data that integrates to Salesforce, and really help organizations become better stewards of that data. Using our platform, companies across all industries can streamline their processes and drive all their mission critical business initiatives. And our platform also offers advanced security and compliance standards for protecting even the most sensitive customer and business data. So that's what we do.
Fantastic. Now tell us about expertise areas in higher education, about your
Yeah,
expertise.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, higher ed is near and dear to our heart. It's one of our key verticals that we focus on. And what we do, again, is streamline and automate processes for all of our customer institutions across a number of different use cases. And so we can help advise and help with student recruitment and admissions, applications and registration, internal administration, fundraising, and more of these use cases. Our platform has helped hundreds of colleges across the world, including Stanford and Yale, improve their student, staff, and alumni relationships, minimize busy work, as well as relieve overloaded IT teams and eliminate those costly data silos. You can learn more about our solutions by asking us, visiting our website, and then also attending our upcoming session here at the Education Summit.
All right. Well, let's see. Tell us about a recent higher ed implementation, last 6 months to a year.
Got a couple of those. Really excited to share. A couple are in the works, but for Elgin and Hillsborough community colleges, we worked on 2 separate projects. Okay, so the first one is with Admissions Connect, who we all are getting to know and really getting to love. But the first project that we've had is we helped Hillsborough with our Salesforce Admissions Connect package. So that includes targeted web form templates that we pre-configured with Salesforce connectors and onboarding assistance, including additional connector setup assistance to pass the data to Salesforce, is included with those packages, thereby ensuring as smooth as launch as possible. This package will integrate again with Admissions Connect for higher ed and K through 12 institutions to really streamline and improve the entire admissions process. So that's the first one. Second one I wanted to talk about was our Salesforce.org Elevate connector, which we helped Elgin Community College with. And what that allows us to do is put a connector from our forms directly to .org Elevate, streamlining fundraising efforts and payment processing. We do have a webinar upcoming on February 28th with Salesforce's .org Elevate team and subject matter experts. I'll be there as well to discuss the new implemented Elevate connector. And then the third thing that I wanted to talk about in the last 6 months to a year is our new workflow solution that we released. This is allowing teams to build simple to complex multi-participant data collection workflows that'll integrate with Salesforce and a number of other business systems, all without coding. And so that's what we've done.
Wow. Well, let's chat about what excites you in 2022.
Yeah, 2022, our team is constantly working towards making our product as best as it can be for our customers. So with the recent release of Workflow, we're going to continue to improve upon that. It's just the beginning of a huge product transformation for us. And so we're looking towards the future using Workflow as the basis of that improvement. And then we're just continually improving to make that part of our platform better.
Great. And how have you kept sane during this pandemic? You or your team?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about that is quite fortunately, prior to the pandemic, Form Assembly was a fully remote company to begin with. So not a lot day to day for us changed. However, what did happen was that allowed us to really focus on helping other people. And so we were approached by a lot of partners after we released our COVID-19 assistance program initiative. So we were really helping people out with helping data collection to drive assistance to COVID-19. So that really kept our team sane because we were able to focus on, helping and be as philanthropic as possible. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is normally we have in-person reunions, but this year we did everything virtually. So we did virtual cooking classes, wine tasting, painting and pottery classes, and just meeting sessions to where everybody could kind of hang out, not work, and then do stuff that was fun. Additionally, the leadership team here has made wellness sessions available. So to combat like the Zoom fatigue that Susan was just talking about. And so that's been provided on a monthly basis to our staff.
Wow. Thank you, Paul. Wow. That's great. Let's see. So I heard wine, happy hour, dancing, painting, and pets. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I wonder
Not a
what
bad.
David's going to share in our last one. These are some great tips. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul. All right, David, I think you're our last person. You're going to round us out for 5 and 5s. Are you excited for this?
I am. Can you hear me now or no? Is that working for
Yes.
you? Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's great. So why don't you give us a quick little introduction to what you do? Yeah, we'll go from there. I'm going to get your slide all shared too.
That sounds good. Sounds good. So I'm Dave Sicoli. I am the managing director for our education practice here at Cloud for Good. I've spent about 8 years in higher ed directly in recruitment admissions, and the last 7 years here in the Salesforce ecosystem. So I oversee all of our education services.
Amazing. All right. You ready for this?
I am ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start the clock and ask you your first question. All right. Tell us about your company.
Yeah, Cloud for Good. We're a leading cloud consulting firm specializing in Salesforce implementations for both education and the nonprofit industry. We were founded in 2010, and we're a premium Salesforce.org partner and a Summit Salesforce.com partner. We were actually named the 2021 Education and Nonprofit Salesforce Partner of the Year, which was really exciting. And yeah, we like to collaborate and help organizations achieve results, innovate, transform their operations. And we also do that while doing good and doing well. We pledge 1% of our movement, where we donate 1% of our time to over 1,000 volunteer hours in 2021, even during the pandemic. We also donate 1% of our profits and 1% of our products back to the community. And then also, I just want to touch on the fact that we are B Corp, and we recently just launched our Talent for Good program, which is the first large-scale Salesforce apprenticeship program. And we're looking to solve the gap in bringing qualified, talented, and also diverse talent to the education and nonprofit ecosystem in Salesforce.
Amazing. Tell us about your expertise in higher ed.
Yeah, of course. So, we bring over a decade of experience in implementations. And during that time in education, we've done pretty much everything that you could think of, whether it's from our digital marketing team, engagement, university operations, recruitment and admissions, advancement, alumni relations, student success, a little bit of everything we do here at Cloud for Good.
Awesome. Now let's see a recent implementation, something in the last 6 months to a year.
Yeah, totally. So we actually have one going on right now with Indiana University Foundation and Alumni Association. So this is a little bit of a teaser for the Higher Ed Summit for a presentation we'll be doing there. But we're helping them transform how they raise funds by using Commerce Cloud and Marketing Cloud. So the donors are going to have a best-in-class experience. I think Susan mentioned like an Amazon experience. Everyone's wanting that. So we're going to be bringing that to IU. And then also having their staff engage with their constituents in different ways using journeys in the Marketing Cloud product there. So really excited for that. And we'll be doing a demo during the Higher Ed Summit.
Awesome. I like the forecast too. Number 4, what excites you about 2022?
Yeah, I touched on a little bit, but what I'm really excited for is the Talent for Good paid apprenticeship program. So actually next week, our first cohort will start their intensive training program. And during that time, they're going to gain about 2 to 3 Salesforce certifications, deep dive into higher ed and nonprofit organizations and how they operate, and then also learn the ins and outs about how to be, a high quality consultant in the ecosystem too. And yeah, we've had these apprentice students, already requested by our active clients, still more available as we go on throughout as well. And essentially it's a paid 21-month internship or apprenticeship, and the Talent for Good colleagues at our partners that are going to have these apprentices on their projects can then hire them on at the end. So this way, someone that's been working with you on your implementation, if you've really enjoyed working with them, they've enjoyed working with you, you're down for some remote work, which we're all about these days, you can then hire them right on and have your admin kind of built in who knows exactly how your system was built. So really exciting program that we think is going to have a big impact in the ecosystem.
Amazing. Last question. Doing great on time.
Awesome.
What is the favorite activity that's kept you or your team sane during the pandemic?
Totally. Much like Paul just mentioned at Farm Assembly, Cloud for Good was also, a distributed workforce. We were all working remotely prior to pandemic. Obviously, that changes when you're working from home, but then can't leave your house or not as much. But we really tried to get everybody together to do some, more exciting things outside of work or at the end of the days, whether that's a happy hour or a cooking class or a virtual escape room. Those are really great ways that we were able to get together and not talk about work every once in a while, but still enjoy ourselves as friends, missing each other, going on those discoveries and UATs on the road.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. You've still got 40 seconds here. I can queue up Frank, who I'm pretty sure is in the Talent for Good
Oh,
pipeline,
yes.
doing something there, right?
Yes, I am. So yeah, it's been fun working with Talent for Good folks and just kind of providing some advice and insight into how this program could grow and kind of what the needs are at the higher ed community from a resource perspective and just sharing those thoughts. So
Definitely,
it's been fun.
We're excited. They're going to have a data path right now, and also, your, Salesforce admin consulting path as well. And hopefully in coming cohorts, developers and other skills to kind of keep building that. We know everyone, I think, can agree that it's, we're all looking to hire really talented resources and people and, have them grow and be part of this great organization we're all part of here.
Yep, absolutely. So many ways to build that pipeline and build that skill set. And this is just one of many. That's great. All right.
We love that. Well, while we have you in the last second here while we're wrapping up, if you like what we're doing here, listen to us interview other people on the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or go to our website, thepodcast.com. Frank, is there anything you want to say before we end today?
No, thank you again. Thank you, sponsors, for being so generous and for being here and sharing all this information. I'm just really excited to see what happens in 2022 in this higher ed community, in this space, and with all our sponsors. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.